This is perhaps the sickest group ever promoted by a mainstream record company.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're looking at 10 famous rock songs that faced significant backlash both legally and socially.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
The Old Man Down the Road, John Fogerty.
You got to hide it high. You got to jump up, run away.
It's not rare for musicians to be sued for plagiarism, but it is quite rare for a musician to be sued for sounding too much like themselves. That's the weird predicament John Fogerty found himself in after releasing The Old Man Down the Road.
The old man is down the road.
This song was Fogerty's only top 10 single as a solo artist, but the party was stymied by Saul Zaentz, owner of Fantasy Records. He sued Fogerty for copyright infringement, claiming that the song's chorus sounded similar to the Creedence Clearwater Revival song Run Through the Jungle. The courts ultimately ruled in favor of Fogerty, claiming that an artist cannot plagiarize themselves. And Zaentz was forced to pay Fogerty $1.3 million in legal fees.
Run through the jungle. Run through the jungle.
Ronnie, Metallica.
Never talks, never plays. Different path, lost his way.
When it comes to Metallica deep cuts, Ronnie is about as deep as it gets. However, it saw a bit of fame in the early 2000s owing to a significant court case. Ronald Patuch from New Jersey killed his mother and an innocent bystander before surrendering himself to the police.
I always said something wrong with little strange Ronnie Long.
Defense attorneys claimed that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, and when Patuch testified, he explicitly mentioned Ronnie and how it was always in his head. The song tells the story of a troubled and lonely boy who commits a shooting and traumatizes a town. It's an interesting story that highlights complex issues around mental illness and how individuals under psychological duress often latch on to cultural artifacts like music during a crisis.
When he pulled that gun from his pocket, and they all fall down.
Come As You Are, Nirvana.
Come as you are, as you were.
How do you possibly follow up Smells Like Teen Spirit? Nirvana had two choices, In Bloom or Come As You Are. Nirvana wanted In Bloom because they feared the repercussions of releasing the latter. You see, the main riff of Come As You Are shares great similarities with a song called 80s from the band Killing Joke, and the band knew it. Management won out and Come As You Are was chosen. But the band was right and Killing Joke was pissed. They were reportedly irate at Nirvana for stealing their riff, and some reports state that they filed a copyright lawsuit against the band. However, other reports claim that they never actually went through with the lawsuit, for whatever reason. Either way, not happy. My Sweet Lord, George Harrison.
I really wanna see you. Really wanna be with you.
You know of plagiarism, but do you know of subconscious plagiarism? A gorgeous piece of folk rock, My Sweet Lord was George Harrison's first single as an ex-Beatle. It was also the center of a highly publicized lawsuit. Harrison was taken to court by Bright Tunes Music Corporation, who claimed that he copied the Chiffons' He's So Fine.
My sweet Lord.
He's so fine. Wish she were mine.
Harrison admitted to knowing the song but argued against copying it. And while the court conceded that Harrison did not intentionally plagiarized the song, they introduced the concept of subconscious plagiarism, and Harrison was found liable. He was understandably angry, and the case set a legal precedent that changed how artists thought about the blurred line between inspiration and imitation.
Really wanna see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord.
Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Arguably the most popular rock song ever written, Stairway to Heaven was also the subject of a highly publicized copyright trial. Spirit bassist Mark Andes and a trust for Randy, California, took Led Zeppelin to court, claiming that the opening acoustic riff of Stairway to Heaven copied their song, Taurus. What made this case so controversial wasn't necessarily the lawsuit, but that it was filed in 2014, nearly half a century after the song was released. If successful, Spirit would have been entitled to songwriter credit and half of the song's future royalties. However, Led Zeppelin won the case as there was no strong evidence of plagiarism, and the similarities were based on common chord progressions, which are not protected by copyright. Get Your Gun, Marilyn Manson. One of the heaviest Marilyn Manson songs, Get Your Gun, comes off his debut album, Portrait of an American Family, and was inspired by the murder of OBGYN David Gunn by an anti-abortion extremist. And like a good chunk of Manson's discography, it came under fire by the political right after the Columbine shooting.
And they blame it on Marilyn and the heroin. Where were the parents at?
Critics argued that its violent and politically charged lyrics inspired the two young boys behind the massacre. It was a heavy load for the musician to bear, but many other people came to his defense, claiming that the association was ridiculous. Regardless, Get Your Gun inspired an intense public discourse around Marilyn Manson's role in shaping the American youth.
The president was shooting bombs overseas, yet I'm a bad guy because I've sang some rock and roll songs. And who's a bigger influence, the president or Marilyn Manson?
Do you know?
I'd like to think me, but I'm gonna go with the president.
God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols.
You thought you'd gotten rid of us, didn't you? But you were wrong, old bean, because we're back with a vengeance.
God save the Queen, my son.
It was 1977, and it had been 25 years since Queen Elizabeth took the throne. As such, Britain was throwing a massive party called the Silver Jubilee. The Sex Pistols even wrote a nice song for her called God Save the Queen, with politically charged lyrics that called out the Queen and her fascist regime. The song was widely regarded as an attack on the British monarchy, and many saw its release as disrespectful and provocative, intended to spoil the Jubilee.
God save the Queen, the fascist regime.
The Sex Pistols also represented punk rock rebellion at its most pure, which was a huge shock to the traditional and conservative British sensibilities of the time. As such, the song was banned by the BBC and many other major broadcasters. Bodies, Drowning Pool.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
With a chorus that consists of the lyric, "Let the bodies hit the floor," it's easy to see how this song could be misinterpreted. Drowning Pool frontman Dave Williams claimed that there was no ill intent behind the song and that the lyrics were simply about mosh pits. However, Bodies has long been associated with crimes and tragedies, sparking a good degree of backlash.
Can't take much more. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
It was briefly pulled from the radio in the aftermath of 9/11, And it has been linked to numerous shootings, including that of Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. It was also famously used as an interrogation technique at Guantanamo Bay, often played loudly and on a continuous loop as a form of psychological torment. Creep, Radiohead.
But I'm a creep.
Perhaps the most famous copyright infringement case is that of Radiohead's Creep. Many people have found similarities between Creep and the Hollies' The Air That I Breathe, which was written by Albert Hammond and Michael Hazelwood.
All I need is the air that I breathe and to love you.
Rondor Music took legal action against Radiohead, claiming copyright infringement. But unlike other artists who vehemently deny plagiarism, Radiohead openly admitted to the similarities.
So, no, I will not accept that you stand there and tell me that you've never heard The Air That I Breathe by the Hollies, when I know that you have heard Creep by Radiohead.
Hammond and Hazelwood were awarded both songwriting credits and royalties, but as they admired the band's honesty, they only took a small percentage. Funnily enough, Radiohead later targeted Lana Del Rey, seeking credit and royalties after she used the melody for her song Get Free. We wonder, who's going to do it next?
How old are you, 19 or 20? Something like that. Okay, so maybe you know Lana Del Rey, who remarkably was sued by Radiohead for plagiarizing Creep in her 2017 song Get Free. Iterations. Over time. Diluting the message. Obscuring the original.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Helter Skelter, The Beatles. Arthur Doyle Green has said that the Beatles and Charles Manson are permanently connected in pop culture consciousness, and that's not really an association you want to have. Manson was a huge fan of the song, thinking that it bore prophetic messages about an apocalyptic race war. He saw their music as instructions or validation for his twisted worldview, leading to the infamous killings of 1969.
The evidence will show Manson's fanatical obsession with Helter Skelter, a term he got from the English musical group the Beatles. To Manson, Helter Skelter meant the black man rising up and destroying the entire white race.
At one murder scene, the words Helter Skelter were even written in blood on a refrigerator, further strengthening the connection between the song and the murders. Following the crime, Helter Skelter became tainted in the public eye, leading to a moral panic, public discomfort with the White Album, and increased scrutiny of rock music and its cultural influence.
I got blisters on my fingers!
Do you still enjoy these tunes? Let us know in the comments below.
I think you've heard it many, many times before, but we will come back to that.